And welcome to another episode of Accelerate India Technology for Growth, presented by Microsoft in partnership with CNBC TV 18 and moneycontrol.com. On this episode, we are looking at how cloud computing is helping small and medium business enterprises in India enhance growth, reduce costs, and explore new ways of doing business. On the panel today, I have with me Mithul B. Patel, General Manager, Small and Mid-Market Solutions and Partners, Microsoft India. TT Ashok, MD, Managing Director, Taylor Rubber, and past Chairman of CII Southern Region. Joining me from the Bangalore studio, Neeraj Agarwal, Managing Director, Boston Consulting Group, India, and also Sandeep Murthy, Partner, Lightbox, joining me from the Mumbai studio. Welcome, gentlemen. Mithul, if I could come to you first, we have been hearing about cloud computing, how it is beneficial, what its advantages are, what it could do to transform IT utilization by businesses. But what does it really mean is a question which many small and medium business enterprises have.
Right. No, I think that's a fair question. Cloud computing is a way of getting access to information technology in a different way from the past. And the best way for me to describe it is think about a world where you used to get electricity from a generator that was sitting outside of your house. You'd have to buy a generator, you'd have to maintain it, you'd have to put fuel in it, etc. Now imagine a world where you plug into a socket in your house where the electricity is coming from a grid. And that's what cloud is. Cloud takes away this need for actually having technology sitting in your offices, servers, software, etc., and instead allows you to plug into information technology much like we plug into electricity today.
Well, and it effectively means that from an IT perspective, companies don't need to buy softwares if they want to sort of make use of different softwares from different companies. Is that right?
Small businesses, especially the ones that are starting up today, can actually just get access to all of that software by simply plugging into the network, getting access to cloud services from one or many, many different vendors, and then most importantly, pay for it as they use it, just like they do electricity.
But Ashok, does this really make sense? Is this something that SMEs are looking to buy? Because there are only around 5 million internet users who are making use of such services in India.
I think SMEs are looking for any method which would help them increase their competitiveness. So IT, and along with it, cloud computing is a tool which they'd like to use, and the problem here is going to be how do you reach out to all of them? And secondly, the problem is demystifying this whole process. There's a lot of big words happening around it. At the end of the day, what do I get by using cloud or any IT technology service? Cost apart, how easy is it for me to do this? What is my benefit? And what is the way forward?
How do you actually introduce SMEs to the concept of cloud computing? You have, been advising a whole host of companies. Does it really make sense for a small company, say with 25 employees, to switch to cloud computing services?
They get both the access and the capabilities that large enterprises have at a fraction of the cost that they would have to pay if they were a larger enterprise in the past. So essentially, it opened up the world to them in a very cost-effective fashion. So I think it's a major change. It's a very, very far-reaching innovation which will have very profound impacts.
Sandeep, do you actually agree with what Mithul, Ashok, and Neeraj have been pointing out? Would you put in your money in a company which has switched to cloud computing? Would it make more business sense to you if they were more IT enabled?
I think each group has a different benefit that they'll derive from it. So it's not to say that universally technology is the solution to everybody's problems, but I do believe that cloud SMEs are going to benefit from being connected into a broader base of users in some way, shape, or form. And so the cloud enables that in a manner, and there'll be elements of it that are useful for different people. Various services that you already use probably as an SME are cloud driven. And so I don't think it's such a crazy concept. I think that the statement that there are big words and complexity that makes it look a little fearsome is true. And I think if you can simplify it and make it easy to use, I think the benefits will become apparent and people will use it, and I think you'll get some great services.
Can be done to demystify what cloud computing is.
But I think in India in particular, it's a high-touch country. And I think we need to go reach out, SME by SME almost, and explain, first of all, what the benefit of technology is, and then secondly, why cloud computing is the best way to achieve technology. Now, to do that, I think there's a few things we need to do, and I think we've already begun this journey. One is education, right from the schools themselves. We need to make sure that people understand what this technology is and how to use it. But going further than that, we need to get people out on the street and into the doors and offices of SMEs to explain the story. And I think that's where a large network of partners and folks who understand this technology going out and having a discussion is going to be very, very important. So dialogue will solve a lot of this problem. And then, of course, there'll always be the education and the high-level air cover that we would give through advertising, marketing, collateral, brochures, the typical ways of communicating.
How are these companies actually going to be making use of something if it is demystified and we could actually say that a software services for all through the internet?
The effort in the last 18-20 months we have done as CII is trying to reach out to members across geographies, getting out even into the smaller cities across India, and also looking at clusters of industries, for example, the textile cluster or the engineering clusters across the country. What Mithul said, talking to them and telling them what is the advantage of technology in terms of IT-enabled services, convincing them that they should start using more of IT and that the cloud could be an answer in terms of their investments, in terms of ease of doing business, in terms of entry. How do I choose a product? How do I choose a vendor? Do I have the option of choosing one product from one vendor, another, for example, finance from one and supply chain from somebody else? Will the products talk to each other?